Superman and Lois, one of the hottest things on our list right now because it's an amazing show. Loved it from the beginning. And one of the best additions to the show this season is undoubtedly this guy playing Bruno Mannheim this year, Chad L. Coleman. Chad, how you doing?
Doing fantastic, man. Living my best life.
You and me both, my friend. Now you joined you've been a part of a bunch of amazing fandoms over the years. I mean, The Walking Dead, The Expanse. I mean, the list goes on and on. So how excited were you to return to the realm of DC and Superman and Lois?
Oh, incredibly excited. And that's my MO. Come in third. I'm the third season guy.
That is true, actually.
I mean, many of my shows, that's when I show up and turn it up a notch. So incredible group of folks, obviously amazing showrunners and wonderful actors and crew. Had an amazing time in Vancouver for 5 months. So greatly anticipating this. It's going to be a thrill ride through and through.
No doubt about that, man. There's a lot of layers though to your character of Bruno Mannheim. What's the thing that intrigued you about him the most?
That people perceive him as a villain, but he's a straight up family and community guy.
So
That the
you
source is everything for him. It's not about you know, just mayhem or real intimidation. He's just a formidable human being he's got to face what he's got to face, but his heart is huge and his love of family and community is there through and through. That's the driving force behind him.
that's I'm sure that's definitely true. We'll get a chance to find out more about that as the season progresses, I'm sure. So we
Yeah.
know based on the tease at the end of at the end of last season that it was Bruno Mannheim that actually killed the John Henry of the current Earth that you're on now. So how much are we going to get into the backstory of that this season, and how surprised is he going to be when he sees that John Henry's just kind of walking around, breathing air again?
Well, I have to tread lightly, bro. That sounds like it's a little give away something territory for me. I'm telling you, it's all heaped on the plate and in large portions, and there's no backing away from any of it.
No doubt about that. I actually talked to Wole Parks last week, and he talked about how great it was being able to work with you this season and how intense things are going to get. So, how would you say it was working with him in this upcoming season?
The same. We briefly crossed paths on All American,
Yep, he said that. Yep.
and he's always been just an upstanding, cool dude. I dig the brother. He's good people. And but this one, yeah, man, we're going toe to toe. It's heavy. It's heavy and dynamic and heartfelt.
We're looking forward to that clash if and when it comes, no doubt about that. But based on the comics alone, we know that Mannheim's obviously no fan of Superman. So, how soon are we going to find out just what his beef is with the Man of Steel on this show?
Well, that's where this whole social political overtones, undertones come into play with what the showrunners have come up with, and it's very deep and very layered, and it's amazing. But he's a self-made man that came from the backwash of South Metropolis. Nobody gave a damn, and so he had to, you know, pull himself up by his bootstraps and suffer through a lot of heartache and pain, and just when you feel discarded and you gotta scratch and claw to become something. And he was able to do that. So he's not particularly fond of Superman for many reasons. Uh, so he can't identify with somebody just running around, oh, you stopped the train. What does that have to do with real life and impacting people's lives? So, he has a very strong position when it comes to that. And you will find that out real quick.
I will say this, and we definitely won't give away any spoilers here, but you have a great scene with Tyler coming up in the second episode of this season that I think is really, really intense, and I loved it. I've already gotten a chance to see it, so I don't want to spoil anything, but how much do you remember about that scene and how it really kind of sets the tone going forward?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's it. And I don't know. I'm not 1,000% sure if that would. I thought the showrunners and producers created this kind of dynamic because of the fact that I'm playing the role. An African American male is playing the role. So there's all these implications from it. And yeah, it was incredible. And Tyler is amazing. I love his Superman, and I love the man himself. He's a leader, and he's a very kind Californian guy who's really, really cool to work with. I wish we had more time to hang out. We didn't get a chance. Both very, very busy this season, so we never got a chance to really hang. But he's a great dude. We had some good laughs on the set, in between all of the tumult. Yeah, he's a cool dude.
All I know is when I'm sitting there and I'm watching something by myself and out loud, I just go, "Wow, that's what I did during that scene." So I really can't wait for people to see it because I just that chemistry between you two, that tension, it was real, and it was so amazing for me.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what we were going for. You know what I mean? And I think the landscape, DCU and landscape is going to be all about that kind of grounded power and realness, and these train wrecks that are coming. It's incredible.
Oh, I can only imagine. Now we did see this at the end of the first episode, so no spoilers here. But we see that Bruno has a little bit more than Intergang at his disposal. So how powerful an asset is a character like Onomatopoeia going to be for him? And could we maybe see more allies in future episodes?
Well, I don't want to. I'm not going to get into too much of that. I just say he has a formidable team, and and the man knows how to put things together to get ish done.
Literally and figuratively, if you've been watching this season
Absolutely.
so far.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
actually, it was funny when I talked to Wole. He was saying that you all just got done filming the finale recently, which has got to be really really cool. So do you feel like kind of this season sort of does it wrap up the story well? Do you think fans are going to be happy with what they see once it's all said and done?
No, without question. Without question. This is a tour de force season, and our showrunners are truly, truly a game, and the fans they not even know what to do with themselves. It's that good. It's that good.
So Chad, we know that from based on this first episode too, that it's Lois that's been trying to track Bruno down and get some dirt on him for a while now. So how much tension is there between the two of them coming up this season as
Massive,
well?
massive, massive. It's massive. You can cut it with a knife, and when you see us engage each other, it's incredible. But it's what they've been able to piece together, though. It's not just this. It's not. It's ideology and character and integrity, and where you came from, and how you become who you are, and just it's so layered that it's fascinating. It's fascinating to see it.
We saw, of course, you years ago played Tobias Church on Arrow. Now, of course, you're back playing Bruno Mannheim for Superman and Lois. What are some of the differences there in being on a show like Arrow and being on a show like Superman and Lois? I know the characters are certainly have differences, but what was the experience like for you different this time around?
No, I don't think there's much difference. That it was a family feel. Everybody driven, everybody bringing their A game. I think, yeah, no, from the action to the drama, um, you just had a team of folks who were super committed. So I felt a harmony in those experiences. So yeah, I didn't really. With James Bamford, that's a stand up dude. Uh, so the vibe felt the same, but
James
the
Bamford
characters
is the
are,
dude for sure.
yes, he is, and so so that's what we had over there on Arrow, and then you know, um, yeah, I felt the same thing on this set, and Tyler, between Tyler and Steven, Tyler and Steven are a little bit different. That more Tyler's more of a jokester and laughing, and Steven's pretty quiet and intense most of the time until I force him out,
Yes, yes,
which
you
I
do.
which I tried to do on several occasions. But Tyler's always game for a good laugh, and and just that that on-set banter vibe. He used to be a baseball player, so
Oh, that's
you know,
interesting. I'll have to
yeah,
ask him about that if I get a chance to talk to him here for this season for sure. Yeah, I got to talk to him about that. But
yeah, and he's the Cali kid. He's a Cali kid,
yeah,
so yeah.
most definitely, most definitely. So Chad, speaking of finales, man, when I heard that you were coming on the show, I knew I had to ask you about the Orville. I know that things are very much still up in the air right now, but how much are you hoping to bring Clyden back for at least one more season?
Oh, I'd love that more than anything. We opened up Pandora's box, if you will. There's so much more to explore with my daughter and our relationship. And I just hope we don't leave it on the table because it's a hell of a show, man. And they've had some promising talks, but there's a lot going on at all these studios right now. It's just so many shifts and power dynamic differences, and so we'll see. I again, I tell the fans just the way Kazan Bar was able to mobilize the fan base to get the Expanse
Hmm.
on Bezos Amazon. The fans have to really show, you know, that passion, and they have to be able to. Part of it is them being able to see just the force of the fans behind it. So I would just say to the fans, try to come together and put together a movement for it that shows up in numbers, and then that may help too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to organize the masses for that for sure because we definitely can't let this show go. You were recently
Yeah,
at South by Southwest though, and you actually got to debut one of your new films that you're in, the Angry Black Girl and Her Monster, which is kind of like a Frankenstein story, which I think is really neat. So tell us a little bit more about it and what was the reaction like at that premiere? It had to be amazing.
it was. It was incredibly amazing. That experience I will never forget. This is a very powerful, necessary film. So yes, it's taking on the Frankenstein story and reimagining it through the eyes of a young black girl and all that comes with that. It's a lot of social political dynamics to it. This He's put together a hybrid that's unique in and of itself because it never backs away from that stuff, and it doesn't try to just go all gore, but you got the gore, you got the social political, and you got the family, and then the fact, not unlike Hamilton, that you're reimagining through this culture, these specific people, and how it elevates or changes or makes it more intriguing to watch this thing. And he's done a masterful job of it. It's clicking on all levels, and you do walk out of that theater with a real ache for marginalized people. And hopefully someone will say, what can I do? How can I help? And that's not easy to do in a horror film.
No, it's not, and I can't wait for to get a chance to see it myself and for others to see it as well because I think it is going to have that powerful impact. Chad,
You're
before I
gonna
let
love it.
Oh,
I
I've seen some reimagined Frankenstein stuff before. I'm really looking forward to seeing this one and how it goes, just a little bit that I've seen of it.
Yeah.
So, Chad, before I let you go, this is going to be a tough one. So, if you could
Okay.
only bring back one, who would it be? Tyrese or Cuddy Wise?
Oh wow. Yeah, that is a tough one. We're gonna do a cliffhanger on that. Okay. No, here's the answer. I am developing a television show about Dennis Cuddy Wise. So that's
Oh,
the answer.
that is such great news because
Yeah.
that character, man, it just sticks out for me.
Yeah, but now this is the real guy's story. The story you saw was actually Calvin Ford, who is, a champion trainer of Javante Tank Davis, who, when I got the role on The Wire, they told me to go hang out with Calvin. And there was a little 7-year-old boy in there pounding away. I was like, "Who is that?" He said, "That's going to be my champion." Cut two, he's a world champion. So that was Calvin Ford's story. I'm going to tell the real Dennis Cuddy Wide story that you only, it was hinted at about him being muscle, and
Mhm.
that he was incarcerated. He came out of incarceration. Well, Dennis really did 38 years. So there's a lot more to unpack about who this man was, and we're going to take it on. And D. Watkins, who did he did "We Own This City" with David Simon. He's the lead writer on it. So we got something amazing putting together with me, him, and the real Dennis Cuddy Wise, uh, coming to a streaming near you at some point in the future for sure.
Wow, wow, that is such big news. I'm so happy to hear that. We'll keep an ear out for that, but also make sure we're watching Superman and Lois every Tuesday night on the CW,
Yes,
and once again the next day on the CW app because this guy is digging deep into Bruno and Mannheim. Let me tell you, Chad L.
thank
Coleman, thank you so much, man, for the time. I really appreciate it.
you. Much appreciated always, brother. I'll see you on the next one.